Hi, everybody, and welcome to Metaphysical Insights. I'm your host, William Becker, and I'm broadcasting today from Sumpter, Oregon, a haunted little, semi-ghost town. It's got several people that live here now year-round and lots of vacation rentals. That's what I'm in right now. And you're stuck with just me today. I'm sorry. But the group I'm with, one of my friends, Brian, set up a great trip for us. And we've got one room at the very haunted B&B. There are four of us staying here in one cabin, another couple, and another cabin. And they, we were going to have a conversation about what we've been up to and what we've been doing and a little bit about the town and all of that. But they are all out at an old mining town called Bourne right now. And so it's just me and the ghosts. So, and I haven't been here into this place before. I've taught lots of classes and workshops at the Sumpter B&B, and that building started out as a hospital. It was very state of the art. It was built about 1900, and this whole area, these were all gold mines. And there's a big dredge here where they basically floated the dredge down the river and chewed up the whole valleys and took out the gold and spit out the rocks. And it's interesting to watch how the landscape over the last 100 years or so has been reclaiming itself. It can look like a moonscape as far as piles of rocks and debris and stuff everywhere, the way these dredges worked. But all the vegetation is growing. I mean, there's so much that's happening here. Several miles away from here, now we're high up in the mountains. Where I'm right now is about 4,500 feet, and we're surrounded by thousands of miles, I think, of woods and lions and tigers and bears for real. Fortunately, I checked no rattlesnakes within a 2-hour drive, so that's good. Ticks, that's another story. But surprised about the snakes, though. I thought they were at least a half hour away. Anyway, the B&B, the hospital was actually very much state of the art for anywhere at the time, because these towns, these mining towns, for a while were really pretty much thriving. This one had the big fire, I think in the 20s. They were very creative here. They ran the fire suppression system for the town as a series of hoses under the sidewalks. Well, this is an old frontier town. Guess what sidewalks were made out of? Wood. Guess what happened when the town caught fire and the sidewalks burned up? Yep, there goes the fire suppression system. But the B&B was enough distant from that part of town that it survived. It, of course, also became a brothel and then a Mason's Lodge and who knows what all else, I can't remember. And it's a charming B&B now. The son of the owners runs it at this point. And I don't know, I noticed that my screen is blinking a little bit. Maybe my Wi-Fi isn't real strong. I hope this is coming through okay. Like I say, we are kind of out in the middle of nowhere here. And this is civilized compared to what's just a half a mile away. So bear with me. With the B&B, just a little bit of an indication. Thanks, Barry. That's good to know. I appreciate it. And Barry, this is a place, you and Donna, when you come over and visit, we need to come here because I think you'd love it. And there's something, including the wee folk around here. You don't have them just in Ireland, you know. But the B&B, I can't remember all the stories people have of it, but just my own experiences. I do too. The guest room awaits, complete with the ghosts that inhabit it. Most people don't wake up screaming and run out the room, though. Oh, it's only happened a couple times. But I was there, like I say, I've taught workshops there a few times. And I walked down the staircase, looked at a landing that was about 2 floors up and probably about 20 feet off the ground, maybe a little bit more. And there was a man staring in at me, and very distinctive face. It was daylight. There wasn't any kind of a nighttime reflection. And again, like I say, very distinctive face. And I went down and told people what I saw. And one of the people here said, "Oh, that sounds like her uncle." And I was shown a picture with a man and a group of other men and pointed him out. And yep, that was who it was. And he was kind of the self-appointed town marshal. If people were cutting up too much in a pub, he'd throw them out the window. What's a little glass? He was known to take his 6-shooter or whatever, and just like the old-fashioned movies where the bad guy or the sheriff makes the guy dance by shooting at his feet. Well, he's known to do that kind of thing. So, this is a place of characters, colorful people that set their own rules. People have always been nice, although there's one little town that's got a population of 11 just a few miles away. And I actually have a friend that lives there. And when you go to that place, the buildings are watching you. The people are watching you. You can't see them, but you just feel it. And the entities are watching you. And even when you go in, they've got an RV park. They've got a kind of a tourist store with a variety of different things and some food you can pick up in a cafe and all that. And they're almost hostile in their attitude. When you're an outsider, you're an outsider. And this area is littered with mine shafts, and you don't want to make anybody mad. Nobody would ever find you. So, no, enough of that part of it. But at the B&B too, getting back to it, there's one room called the Duke, which is a room we have right now. And people that I know and talked to had their clothes, their boots and things taken out of the room and put outside the door. I've stayed in, I can't remember which room it happened in. It was down a few from the Duke. There are only 6 rooms in it, and 3 bathrooms everybody shares. And the deadbolt the sliding bolt on my door opened. Somebody sat down on my bed one night when I was in it. I just say, not tonight, I've got a headache, and let me go to sleep. The ghosts are cool. One night I was there with a group of people and it sounded like pacing. My headboard was right against one wall. And it turns out the person on the other room, her headboard was against the wall too. And we kept hearing the pacing back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, right by our heads. It sounded like it was in the middle of the wall. And we knew the other person couldn't be up doing that because we could hear them sleeping, the breathing from sleeping. Well, and we both snored. And so she could tell it wasn't me. I could tell it wasn't her. But at the same time, there was nobody up in the halls or anything. We compared notes the next day and found this out. But it turns out that those rooms were added later, and originally was a big area for the nurses and such, and the rooms weren't there. So somebody could have been pacing back and forth there. They've had the typical movement there. Oh, one of the people, brothel, sometimes the ladies of the evening would kind of take a pinch of the man to just see what they were getting, and it was worth the price, and check out the muscles. And one of the people that was at the class, he got his arm pinched nicely. So we all laughed and said thank you. It's fun. Here in this place last night, we've had lights that seem to turn off on their own. You can hear the click of the switch. It's a push button type thing where you push it on, push it off, and you can hear it click and then it's on or off. One of the people heard something bang against the wall, like a cord hitting it, a power cord or something whipping against it. And a couple of us have heard voices or conversations when there wasn't anybody there. So we've had a little bit of activity here in this building. And this is the first time I've been in this building. We were always all in the B&B before. So just walking down the street, even the dredge is haunted. They've had a lot of things. Oh, great. Well, welcome. It's nice to have you here for the first time. And I'm glad you found it. But I really encourage people to go out and check out. Like I said, there's an old steam train that comes to town during the tourist season. It's, I don't know, about a 10, 15 mile journey. And all kinds of people turning in. I'm very grateful and say hi to everybody. But it's fun that way. They don't do a lot of stupid reenactments, but there is a museum which is also haunted. Visit the places around you. There are a lot of places that are really interesting. Now, where I live, unfortunately, a lot of them are a long ways away. This is a 6-hour drive yesterday getting here. And we are probably going to have a longer one leaving Friday because we'll get back to Portland. I mean, not Friday, Monday, because we'll get back to Portland about rush hour. And Rose, to answer your question, what I'm talking about this time is a group of us are in a haunted little ghost town in the middle of nowhere. And so we're talking about that a little bit. The friends I'm with have headed off to do more exploring instead of staying here to talk about what we're up to today, this time. And Jamie, as soon as I can scrape the money together to come and do it, I will be there. I miss it. I haven't been out of the country for, a year and a half, and it drives me crazy. So if anybody wants to send checks, bad joke, but excuse me. Sleeping was difficult last night. I was tired, and for a ghost town, it can be kind of busy early in the morning. I didn't realize that this small little road that runs through town gets a lot of trucks and stuff the next day. And so it was intense. We're also up high enough that the breathing, I'm noticing a difference in breathing. And some of where we're going to be going will be up over a mile up in elevation. So does anybody have any questions that they want to say? This could be a very, very short program. otherwise. And so, if that's the case, I apologize to those who stayed and tuned in thinking there was going to be something bigger. And what was that shot of? It might have been a flag out there, but it looked like a person against on the wall. I don't know. I don't think it was paranormal. But anybody have any questions, comments? Explore your backyards, folks. The paranormal and history are intricately entwined. You don't have one without the other. History leaves ghosts. Ghosts are part of history. And knowing the full story and getting to meet and talk to the entities is part of what I love. I'm not really patient with a bunch of equipment. I'm a medium, so I like to go and talk to whoever wants to talk to me. And then when they're done talking to me, it's like, okay, now I can go home and go to bed. And yes, Rose, I've seen many, many of them. Starting when I was about 8, that I'm aware of. I don't know about any earlier than that. But discover your areas, discover the towns and the counties, the states, whatever kind of a jurisdiction you live in, whichever country you're in. Because I know I have people watching or that will see this eventually from all over the world. Right now we've got England, Ireland, Japan, the States, and I don't know where all, just from the people I know that I've seen making comments here. So get a chance to see how your region developed. Our history, our family histories help determine who we are. The ghosts of our families help shape and determine who we are as individuals. And the past helps develop and an understanding of the past and our history helps us to understand why where we live or why our country is what it is today. Because everything stems from constant development and constant growth or change. Let's use that word because sometimes it's more backwards than forwards. So let's use change. It's a little bit more accurate. And go and explore and get somebody to help you open up your own abilities. Rose, anybody can see ghosts, physical manifestations. So that in itself doesn't mean being a psychic, but I honestly think everybody is. I think psychic abilities are part of what kept us from getting clubbed over the head by the other early humans or being eaten by saber-toothed tigers or something, especially before we developed language. I mean, after all, we've been around a lot longer than we've actually had language. We could make sounds and stuff, but language itself is maybe 60, 100,000 years old, roughly, I think they figure. Don't quote me exactly on those dates, but I'm in the ballpark. And having some kind of an innate feeling of what to hide from, what to run from, what to embrace, and when to do these things has to be part of our DNA, I think. I don't think there's a test for it. And oh, Rose is from Dublin too. Great. So we've got at least 2 people from Ireland on the show. Cool. I like Dublin. Although in Sligo, I did see Roundheads and Jacobites and different people standing on street corners wearing their uniforms from back in the day. So that was cool. But I digress, and I don't mean to do that, sorry folks. But people think history is dull and boring, and it isn't. The presentation might be, but history and the beings that are part of it can be larger than life. The history books can be a much more entertaining story than fiction. And I highly encourage you to find a way that appeals to you and interests you to explore the history, including that history that keeps on repeating itself, even though the people have long turned to dust. And if there are any other questions about that, I sometimes go for 2 hours on these shows, and now we're doing a little less than a half hour. So, and again, I apologize if people were looking for something a little longer and a little more poignant, but with live shows like this, it's fun, and you never know exactly what you're going to get. I don't always know, even when I have guests lined up. Life happens to people, and we go with it and turn it all into good. So, anything else from anybody? And so I will say thank you all very much. This will be up hopefully later today. It might wait till I get back into Portland on Monday evening. But if I can get it up today on YouTube, I will do that. And there'll be links then that I share. And feel free. I have the show 2 o'clock Pacific time, the 1st and 3rd Saturdays of the month. And it's rare that I miss one. There are times when I do. But feel free to check it out. And go to my Facebook Para Insights page if you want. Paranormal Insights. Thank you so much, Barry. I appreciate that. Yeah, actually, we're going to be coming home in an atmospheric river with about 2 inches of rain, perhaps some thunderstorms. So it's going to be an interesting drive home. It was sunny and beautiful on the way up here. But I'm also Para Insights or Paranormal Insights on Instagram and Twitter. Instagram is probably better than Twitter to reach me, because I don't know. I post on Twitter mostly, and I just don't get the comments and stuff. Instagram, I actually know how to talk back and forth to people. So I'm a history major, not a tech major. What can I say? So take care of everybody, and we'll see you, I hope, in a couple of weeks. Bye-bye.